Hello, everybody, and welcome to Wednesday's live in the Get Unstuck series, where today we're talking about how to stop sabotaging your leadership career. So I am Sarah Archer. I'm a career and leadership coach, and I work predominantly with female leaders to create careers that are meaningful, enjoyable, that reward you well, but don't involve you having to sell out and be inauthentic or burning out. So that's my mission, is to support women who want to have those great leadership careers without stress and burnout that sometimes is associated with it. And I created the Get Unstuck series to give you short bursts of inspiration, motivation, practical tips to help you move forward with whatever career challenge you might be facing at the moment. So there's a whole variety of different topics that I've covered so far, and I'm always open to suggestions. So if you've got a topic you'd like me to cover, then please do message me. I'd be very happy to do a live on your topic. So if you're here with me live, do please say hello. Let me know that you're here. Put a little hi in the comments, and also let me know if today's topic about self-sabotage is something that you feel resonates with you, that you can see this happening for yourself. And hopefully in the next 15 minutes, because the lives are always quite short, 15 minutes, you'll get a few ideas about what you can do to tackle this. So let's dive into today's topic, because I do a lot of work with clients around career confidence, and there's lots of different aspects to career confidence. It's quite a complex topic. So I wanted to kind of pull out one of those aspects, which obviously is about self-sabotaging. And you might notice this if you find yourself thinking about the next step in your leadership career, but you find yourself holding yourself back from going from it. And maybe your inner voice is telling you you're not ready, or that it's not the right time, or you just find yourself talking yourself out of going for it. For whatever reason, you're just kind of putting off applying for that new job or going for promotion, or whatever it might be that you want to do next. You just find yourself kind of getting in your own way. So we want to kind of understand what's going on. And often that self-sabotage has a kind of root of fear behind it. And obviously when we feel fear, what can happen is we can get paralyzed by that fear. So it stops us taking action, it stops us moving forward. And it can be quite exhausting because kind of cognitively, we're sort of thinking about the time, well, I should be going for that role. Why am I not going for it? And it can kind of feel quite exhausting. And if we let it carry on, then we can start to see ourselves differently. We can start to see ourselves as kind of smaller or lesser in some way, as somebody who doesn't take risks, who doesn't put themselves forward. So it's kind of a dangerous place to be. And so if you're recognizing this is happening to you, it is about taking action to prevent it becoming a kind of semi-permanent state, I suppose. So I did some research a few years ago with some of my clients who were thinking about career change. But obviously this self-sabotage can take place, whatever kind of change you're thinking about, whether it's a shift upwards or sideways, or whether it's a bigger change in some way. And the things that came out for them as the major obstacles for them taking action around the change that they wanted to happen were the fear of change itself, the fear of failure, the fear of making the wrong decision, and the fear about what other people might think. They were kind of the main things that were getting in their way. And what was the result of that was that they were feeling stuck, that they just weren't taking action in the direction they wanted to travel. So the first thing that you can do, and this is I've found that I've worked with clients around change in lots of different ways for the last 15 years. So lots of experience at helping people unpack what's actually going on for them and what's kind of getting in their way. So understanding kind of why you're fearful can be really helpful, because then it'll help unlock and be able to kind of manage some of those fears. So the fear can be around kind of or it can be linked to the belief that we have about ourselves and what is possible. So you can kind of think back to your kind of early life, so school, parents, maybe early career, and think about the messages that you were given about what was possible for you. So were you encouraged to kind of expand your dreams about what was possible for you, or were you encouraged to kind of keep your dreams small, manageable, realistic, limited in some way? Were your aspirations, quite sort of lower than perhaps where you would like them to be? Because understanding, why you might be putting a ceiling on where you can get to can actually be quite helpful. And those kind of influential experiences early in our life, early in our career, can definitely play into that. And kind of going alongside that is that fear about what other people might think. So those voices that we have that come from society, from our parents, from our peers, from our managers, can also, impact us in terms of, well, what are other people going to think? How am I thinking they're going to judge me about my next move? And maybe you feel like you've got to live up to their expectations, or maybe you've got to please them in some way. And all of that stuff can kind of get in the way of you taking action because you're worried about what other people might be thinking about your choices. And then also we have our circumstances might also be playing into some of our fears around making that next step, that next move. Because if you're the main breadwinner, or you're a solo parent, or you live alone, or you have family responsibilities, that impact on your financial well-being, your financial security, can keep you feeling a bit stuck. I don't want to make a change because what happens if? So just really being able to unpack where the fears are coming from can be then helpful. Okay, now I just need to be able to move past those and manage them. Now I'm going to give you a few techniques to help you with that. But obviously, depending on how deep rooted those fears are, you might find that you need some support to help you move past those fears. So that could be a coach or some other kind of professional to help you with that. But if you feel actually I just need a bit of a kickstart to kind of get me moving, then you could think about these techniques to help you. So the first one is to think about visualizing the future positively. So when we're feeling fearful, when we think about the future, it can be a bit like playing a bad movie in our head. Okay, so it might go something like this. So, okay, if I leave my current job and I go to that next level role in that organization, what happens if it doesn't work out, the company gets into difficulty, or I'm not performing, and then they let me go, and then I don't have a job, and I've got my mortgage to pay, and I might lose my house, and then I might lose everything. And you can catastrophize about what's going to happen if you make that move. And obviously, if you're playing that bad movie in your head, you're not going to be taking action because your brain is taking you to the ultimate outcome, bad outcome. But what I want you to think about is if you're the director of the movie, which you are in charge of your destiny, you can rewrite the script at any point. So what you can do is think about rewriting that movie, if you like, when you're visualizing the future, and actually thinking about all the positives, all the good things that could happen. So if I take that next leadership role, actually it's going to make me more fulfilled because I'm going to feel more challenged and stretched. I'm going to get a great pay rise, which will help with my financial security. I'm going to get the opportunity to work on the kind of things that really interest me. I'm going to meet some great new people. It's going to be stimulating. I can visualize it going well. I know that I've got the skills and capability to do it. And so you can play out that really positive movie in your head about the way it's going to go. And what you would have to do is play that movie to yourself every day, tweaking it, refining it, making it even more compelling for it to then balance out the fears that you might be having. And there will be the temptation to go back and play the old movie, but you've got to resist that temptation and just play the new movie in your head about this successful shift that you're going to make, whatever that shift might look like, because then you're going to feel more confident about taking the action to make that a reality. And what's really interesting, and this comes from neuroscience, is that actually the brain can't distinguish that well between what's real and what's visualized. So by you visualizing it in a really positive way, your brain is really going to connect with that and see that as a reality and a way of being. So it's more likely that that will be the outcome. The new role is going to go well, you're going to do well in it, you're going to have the stability that you are fearful you might lose. The other great thing about then having that kind of movie in your head is that you can then break that down and make a plan about how you're going to make it a reality. Because obviously what you want to do is take out some of the overwhelm of making this shift. So by playing that movie, you can think about, okay, if I'm going to go for that role or that promotion, what do I need to think about now? What are the gaps I need to fill? Who do I need to be visible to? Who do I need to be networking with? What are the practical things I need to do about my CV or my interview performance? What else do I need to put in place to make it happen? And you can create a plan for yourself, which, action conquers fear. I love that quote. By taking action, concrete action towards that goal, the goal being your positive movie, you'll start to reduce the fear because you'll see that things are going well, the steps are taking place. And then the other thing you can do to kind of give you support during this period is look for positive people to be around. So positive people with a growth mindset, so people who believe that anything is possible, will help you to shift your view as well, to see that anything is possible for you. So noticing people around you, so it could be friends, it could be peers, it could be people in your organization who exhibit that kind of positive mindset and see things as possibilities and exciting opportunities rather than risks. Hanging out with them as much as possible will help you to manage some of those fears and see also that things are possible for you. So I'm hoping that's given you some food for thought about A, where the fears are coming from, and B, the action you can take. Obviously, if you need some help with this, then please do DM me. We can have a chat about how I could support you to make that shift if you feel like you're getting in your own way and holding yourself back. Love to know, if you try any of these ideas, how it's worked for you, do let me know. And I'll be back next Wednesday. I haven't decided on the topic next week, but I'll be advertising it tomorrow. So hopefully you can join me next week too for the next live session in the Get Unstuck series. In the meantime, have a great week, and don't forget, message me if you feel like you need some support in this area.